It's just one more bitter day with an angry, bitter heart. He rode up to that bitter creek that was tearing him apart. The water tasted nasty, but he had to fill it up. The only water in his boundary, so he filled his bitter cup. It's been that way since Dad died. He thought he'd get the land below, where everything was lush and green and the peaceful waters flow. But that went to Brother Bob, and that made things mighty tense, and that's putting it mildly, 'cause they haven't spoken since. Now he spends his days in anger at his brother and his dad. He wakes each morning bitter, and he goes to bed hoppin' mad. Now this day, across the creek, a calf was in distress. He's caught up in a bramble bush and tangled in a mess. So the cowboy, he crosses the creek and he heads for that tree. When he's 'bout there, that calf, he broke free. And he took off a-runnin' the wrong way from the herd. He went up the mountainside, then took a sharp turn down a steep ravine where no stock should go. But the cowboy followed, though he took it mighty slow. When he came around a rock, he heard a gurgle sound, and he saw the water comin' up in bubbles on the ground. Then he saw the little sign posted in the sand. It said, "Forgiveness Spring," and it was written in Dad's own hand. He got off to have a taste. The water was sweet and cool, and oh so refreshing to the body and the soul. Now he knew his dad forgave him for all the wrongs he'd done, and he left this spring behind for his wayward son. Tears were flowing down his face and his cheeks were getting hotter. Soon his whole face is wet as he stared there at the water. There were tears of regret and also tears of joy as he knelt there on the ground just like he was a little boy. Oh, the taste of this forgiveness, how it was so sweet. He knew what he had to do when he got to his feet. He'd forgive his brother for his many wrongs. He'd lay down this bitter load he'd carried for too long. He'd begin it right away, and if ever to the brink of an unforgiving spirit, he'll come back and take a drink.